Republicans are currently freaking out over Donald Trump tariffing the world, crashing the markets, destroying the economy of the United States, and Republicans are going to war with each other right now. Let me show you what's going down. So former Vice President Mike Pence, Donald Trump's former Vice President Mike Pence, posts the following. The Trump tariff tax is the largest peacetime tax hike in U.S. history. These tariffs are nearly 10 times the size of those imposed during the Trump-Pence administration and will cost American families over $3,500 per year. Check out the Spoiling America's Golden Age fact sheet in an organization that he's associated with called At American Freedom, to which Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary, the new sham wow economic tank guy, says Mike Pence is just bitter. These tariffs are the definition of America first, which is a concept he doesn't understand. As our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski writes, oh, I guess they're going with the traitor Mike Pence angle again. Mike Pence then posts, Pence Group lashes out at Trump tariffs ahead of Liberation Day event. Pence is posting Pence lashes out. Pence's group also posts, the Trump tariff tax is the largest peacetime tax in U.S. history, with the graphic right there. And he goes over how the Trump tariffs are going to impact all of the goods that you get and how much more they're going to cost. Then MAGA Republican Senator from Ohio, Bernie Moreno, he goes on CNN. And what do you think he does? He attacks Mike Pence. He goes, he's not a business guy. He's just repeating talking points. He's just what? He's just a lefty. That leftist Mike Pence, that radical leftist. Watch MAGA Republican Senator Bernie Moreno. Now, to be in the MAGA Republican Party today, you literally have to be a psychopath like Bernie Moreno. Play this clip.
No offense to Mike Pence. He's never run anything other than a political campaign. This is not a business guy. So he's repeating talking points. He was the vice president. Yeah, but he never ran a business. So he has no idea what any of this is about. He's never been in the private sector. You know, these career politicians are part of the problem here in D.C. because they actually don't know what it's like to actually understand how businesses work. And what President Trump is doing is reversing the policies of people like Mike Pence, who sold this country out, that over decades gutted our industrial sector, shipped our jobs overseas. Cities like Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, Youngstown, these were thriving cities that produced a lot of goods. Look,
why do you hold Pence responsible for that, though?
Because he's just that group of politicians that were both Republicans and Democrats. It's not, again, him personally. It's just that group of politicians.
Other senators and members of Congress on the Hill didn't know how to react, befuddled, confused, angry, scared. Take a look at this clip right here of some MAGA Republicans on the Hill responding to the Trump tariffs. Play this clip.
Anyone who says there may be a little bit of pain before we get things right need to talk about farmers who are one crop away from bankruptcy. They don't have time, so we've got to be crisp on this implementation. Otherwise, we could do damage that's irreparable to farmers.
As the president has admitted, tariffs will create pain for some businesses, and I think Wisconsin will be particularly hard hit with all the manufacturing and agricultural interests. He's used tariffs in the past effectively to get nations to do what they should have done anyway. Right now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm concerned.
We've already heard from some of our beef processors, popcorn exporters, that they're losing some market share in Europe. So it is concerning. And but I'm all for fair trade, reciprocal tariffs. I think in the end, a trade war doesn't help anybody.
Now, it should be noted as well that Tom Tillis, the senator from North Carolina, who you saw right there, voted to continue Trump's tariffs on Canada, as Aaron Frischner points out. Yesterday, there was a vote that was initiated by Democrats. It was only 4 Republicans joined to stop tariffs on Canada. It was Stop Declaring a Fake Emergency on Canada Act. Tom Tillis refused to stop the tariffs against Canada while saying that. The biggest phony person in the world. I think North Carolina is going to vote that psychopath out, that malignant narcissist out. Mike Pence then posts this poll from Fox. 69% of Americans in this Fox poll are right. Tariffs on imports will make products you buy more expensive. Fox took a poll. Will tariffs make things more expensive or less expensive? 69 to 70% said more expensive. Only 7% said less expensive. I call these MAGA Republicans psychopaths, or I don't know what else to describe, malignant narcissists, sociopaths, idiots. I don't mean to be, don't do the name calling. I don't know what else to do when they go on and they know that the economy is crashing, the markets are tanking, people's 401ks are being destroyed, pensions being obliterated. By the way, while Doge and Elon and Trump are attacking your Social Security and your Medicaid, while they're deporting migrants to El Salvador concentration camps without due process, and they're out here going, I think that the stock market's going to be very, very high. It's doing very well. I mean, just stop with the gaslighting and the lies and the sociopathic behavior by these disgusting MAGA Republican people. Play this clip.
I think the stock market is going to majorly correct upwards because when you pump $6 trillion of investment, that's only what's been announced so far. I think the stock market's going to go very, very high because you're investing.
Yes. And look, Geiger Capital, which is a right-leaning, right-wing account, in my opinion, they were Trumpy. They go, the overall weighted average of the Trump tariffs is 29%. This is the highest in over 100 years. This is bigger than Smoot-Hawley, which led to the Great Depression, which caused the Great Depression. I mean, we know where this is headed. We see the fact that the markets are crashing. But then Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent goes on CNN and he's asked by Caitlin Collins, price is going to go up. Well, I don't know. And he does that arrogant look where he's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll go up. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Here, play this clip.
It looks, obviously, that's the president's ambitious agenda. But on, the argument of short-term pain, long-term gain, which assumes what you're arguing about the long-term, what this will look like, prices will go up for Americans in the short term, right?
They could. They don't have to.
And that's if they don't have to, you're arguing if businesses do not pass those on to those consumers.
Well, in the President Trump's first administration, prices didn't go up, so the businesses don't have to pass them on, or the producers in the other countries can eat the tariffs, and traditionally the dollar adjusts. So it's a very complicated calculus to see where we end up.
Yeah, and of course, these are much broader than the ones in the first term. The president was making the argument in the Rose Garden about what economists predicted then and what this looks like.
What the hell are you doing? What is that? What is that? And then Collins asks him, so do you expect that what do you expect is going to happen to the stock market? Is it going to be harmed? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this guy lives in a $23 million pink mansion that is a model of Barbie's house or Barbie's mansion. The guy's worth nearly $1 billion. And here he is, just, maybe, I don't know. It's like when this is going to be like when this is one of their lines. It's like when you remodel your home or you remodel your kitchen, No, most people don't know because they can't afford homes, you morons. Play the clip.
So that's why you've been having a lot of conversations with Republican lawmakers. But before I get to that in a moment, we're seeing international markets start to respond to the president's announcements. Obviously, the markets in the United States are already closed. What do you expect the stock market to look like when it opens tomorrow in reaction to this?
I don't know. I don't know where it's going to trade open tomorrow. I don't know where it's going to close tomorrow. And, I think what's going to be important are the underlying economic fundamentals, because at the end of the day, Warren Buffett says in the short run, the market's a voting machine. In the long run, it's a weighing machine.
Well, and we've heard.
Oh, here he comes. Sham wow. It's like a chamois. It's like a wow. It's a sham wow. If you know the reference of what I'm talking about. It's a strange reference. Here's Howard Lutnick, Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary. He's back. He's on Fox and he's talking about McDonald's French fries. Play this clip.
When you talk to leaders and your counterparts in other countries, are they telling you privately, we think it's time to negotiate?
it's unbelievable when I talk to these people, they say, I can't believe we got away with it for this long. I mean, seriously,
they tell you that.
It is outrageous, the conversations we have. Of course they do. I mean, come on. They don't take our products and they sell everything. Here's one quick story for you. In Korea, we started taking their cars in 2012 in exchange for us for selling produce and food there and agriculture. So McDonald's tried to bring in French fries. And you know what? They wouldn't let them take French fries because they said you couldn't prove the origin of the potato. Now that is the definition of a trade barrier. I mean, you think that's a joke? It's not. They offered me last week. They offered to take it away and let McDonald's take in French fries.
One more clip right here of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying he's not involved in any of the negotiations around these tariffs. It's good to know, that the Treasury Secretary has no clue about these tariffs, doesn't know how the formula is calculated. Normal stuff for Treasury Secretaries. I'm being sarcastic. Not to know, how any of this works. What are you doing? Like what is your job then? Here, play this clip.
Plans for conversations or a trip to Beijing?
Nothing imminent.
When it comes to this negotiation, April 9th, these tariffs come in place. Do you plan on having negotiations before that date?
Again, I'm not part of the negotiations, so we'll see. I am sure that there are going to be a lot of calls. I just don't know if there are going to be negotiations.
The president had this huge chart showing all of the different rates. Canada and Mexico notably missing on that chart. Why is that?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Okay, I imagine that has to do potentially because they're already in negotiations previously with the 25%.
Oh, by the way, Pence then posted this video right here of Ronald Reagan. These words of former President Ronald Reagan ring true today. High tariffs lead to retaliation and ultimately the burden falls on the American consumers. This is a Reagan speech, so it's short. Play this clip.
You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
And don't worry, I'm not out here praising Ronald Reagan. I think Ronald Reagan's economic policies birthed all this crap and led to it. So I'm not trying to glaze Reagan, let me just be clear. But I'm showing you that they all do. The Republicans, Reagan this, Reagan, well, that's what Reagan said, you idiots. Okay, sorry, no name calling. Stop with the name calling. Okay, here's Rand Paul, MAGA Republican from Kentucky, standing next to Tim Kaine, Democrat from Virginia. I mean, just think of, you've got Kaine and you've got Paul. That's an odd couple, I would say. Play this clip.
What's the rationale for getting behind this? Well, one, we should not live under emergency rule. The Constitution said taxes are raised by Congress. Most specifically, taxes originate in the House and come to the Senate. So I'm against emergency rule. But on the tariffs in particular, on the idea of trade is proportional to wealth. The last 70 years of international trade has been an exponential curve upwards, and the last 70 years of prosperity has been upwards also. We are richer because of trade with Canada, and so is Canada. Whenever you trade with somebody, when an individual buys somebody else's product, it's mutually beneficial or you wouldn't buy it. If the trade is voluntary, it's always beneficial. There is no Canada versus the U.S. The consumer wins when the price is the lowest price. Tariffs raise prices and they're a bad idea for the economy. But what if this is...
And here's Rand Paul again. Play it.
Tariffs have also led to political decimation. When McKinley most famously put tariffs on in 1890. They lost 50% of their seats in the next election. When Hott and Smolley put on their tariff in the early 1930s, we lost the House and the Senate for 60 years. So they're not only bad economically, they're bad politically.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Republicans freaking out. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.